there is a continuation to the Rick Owens broken boot gate, or Bootgate, Ricky Bootgate. So, you guys, just for those of you who don't remember, I posted a video about this situation. Let me show you a little close-up of the brand new boots that I bought for the premiere of my movie Art Lovers Unite with Vivienne Westwood and Patrick Thomas that we were showing during the period of the Berlin Film Festival, 16th of February of this year. And I bought the shoes for the occasion, loved them to bits. They're gorgeous shoes. Rick Owens sliver boot in black, just divine shoe. They killed my feet that day. They were so painful to wear. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to travel with them. I just put them in the suitcase, traveled with them. And then I'm like, okay, let me try to walk into them from time to time, just soften them up a bit. You know how it is with new shoes, especially particularly hard shoes. So I managed to wear them only 6 times because they are heavy and painful. You know, I'm usually used to wearing sneakers. So on the sixth day of Christmas, my true boot came to me. And what happened was, I'm like, oh, they're so painful. They're so painful. And then at one point I just hear like a crack and my foot sinks and I'm like, oh, it's weirdly comfortable now. And then I kind of dislocated a little bit my foot. I mean, I almost tripped because of course the whole thing broke apart. Look, after 6 times of wearing, here is the bottom of the boot. That's the heel. And then there's that whole sole that literally just like completely collapsed in itself. I kid you not. This is insane. Freaking sane how intense this thing was. And I am glad I'm not in the hospital. I was walking back home and then this thing happened. Now, so I made a video about it and I said, you guys, I'm going to try to figure out how to do this. I mean, how to, return this. So I find a place that is selling Rick Owens, authorized dealer of Rick Owens. And the only way to do this is to go to a place that sells them, right? Because, I mean, I'm traveling, so I'm not anymore in the place of purchase. And it's a big problem here. Now, thank you, everybody, for sending me wonderful tips. I think, Mo, you told me to kind of contact Rick Owens on Twitter. It always works, like post a photo on Twitter, like at Rick Owens. And I was like, okay, before I go into that battle mode, let me try to do it in a subtle way. Child, let me tell you, the subtle way, I don't know if that worked, because I did find a place that said, oh yeah, bring the shoes in. Of course, Rick Owens is Rick Owens. Like, do you have your original bill? Yeah, like, of course, I preserve everything. I even have the original box, like everything. So I brought back, could you imagine, by the way, could you imagine traveling across the globe with a box this big? Whatever. Anyway, I arrive with the box, with the shoe, with the bill. The manager is still not there. There is one of the sales associates. And I say, hey, I have an issue. This is the reclamation we were talking about. And I show the shoe. I open the box. I lift the shoe and the sole just kind of flaps down like from one of those Charlie Chaplin movies. You know what I mean? When he eats his own shoe because there's no more food left. Oh, by the way, everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only. Just my opinion. Everything's alleged. And also subscribe to my channel, while you're at it. If you wish to see more content like this. And you can also join me, become a member. Push the join button next to the subscription button. Gain access to extra perks. You can also join me on Patreon. superdacob all spelled together there as well for extra perks. And thank you to my members and patrons who already pledged. This video is being filmed live in front of a live virtual audience. And I'm just reading my chats to the side. Hi, chat. So... just like Charlie Chaplin, the soul just like sadly kind of just like falls down, like like a shlomo that has not been on Viagra ever and is already of a certain age. I'm like, and the sales associate, I kid you not, the sales associate lifts the shoe, frisbee moment, and like looks at me, looks at the shoe, and says literally, this is really bad. And I'm like, yes, This has never I mean, it, and they were very fair. They were very fair. The sales associate said, but it looks brand new. Like there's no scratches on it. I'm like, no, I wore it 6 times. I bought it for my movie premiere and I tried to wear it a couple of times. It always hurt me. I never wore it for a long period of time. I can count you the 6 times I wore it and to which occasion I wore it. And I specifically chose to wear it to occasions where I was either going to a restaurant or going to or to the cinema, somewhere where I would sit down and not have to walk in them a long time. They were pristine, just poorly constructed. And the person says, wow, no, I mean, this is insane. Like, did you get hurt? And I'm like, well, yes. I'm lucky I didn't, break a hip or something falling down. But yes, of course I hurt myself. And, what can be done? I mean, I know that there are laws and there's regulations and, what can be done? And they say, let me call the store manager because obviously they're responsible for the financing. They're responsible for the reclamations, for the returns, for whatever needs to be done, for repairs. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to wait here. Took a while. The manager took his good time, And I see the manager approach. And as I see the manager approach, I'm already thinking to myself, oh boy, this is not going to end well. First of all, the manager looks like he's 22 years old. Somebody who just got hired and very eager to prove themselves and maintain budgeting, not losing any money because they want to grow. When somebody's hungry, like starving shark that's so eager to make it. And, no matter what sort of dead bodies they walk over to get where they want to get to. That's the vibe. The shark was heading towards me. Well, the shark got to me and said, how can I help you? And I'm like, I explained the situation. He's like, oh yeah, this is bad. Well, all I can do is send it back to Rick Owens. We have to assess the situation. Can they be repaired? Rick Owens has the right to send you a new pair of shoes. I'm like, honey, you see how broken this shoe is. This is a production flaw. It's the construction of the shoe that is not right. The entire front part of the shoe is too much to the front, and then that whole part underneath before the heel is too elongated. Hence the whole physics of that's the problem. That the shoe isn't, it's conceived to look good on photos, now we know, but in real life, the construction of it isn't built to really sustain itself. They didn't maybe take enough time to develop the shoe. So he's like, we're going to have to assess this. And then he says, and I'm like, yeah, but you can't assess what? I don't want to get the same shoe again. He's like, well, but then there's also another issue. You see, we have to assess whether or not they're authentic. And I'm like, yeah. So, I called in, you told me I can come by, because you also sold this shoe. This model. I suppose you're working here. You see the original box they're in. You see my original bill. You see the actual shoe. You see its construction. You see how it's built and made. First of all. Second of all, I'm like, honey, boo-boo cha. I've been working in luxury fashion sales myself. And I can tell you one thing. The very rare and not so covetable or desirable Rick Owens sliver boot. Who the hell? I've never seen a replica of the Rick Owens sliver boot. Like, who would even want to replicate it? I mean, you know what I mean? It's like one of those shoes. It's not a popular shoe. It's not, it's not the Kiss boot. It's the sliver boot. Like, literally, who would want, like, I'm like, girl, you want to do what? So you want me, so I see. So you want me to leave the shoe here, So I don't got my money, I don't got my shoe, and I risk that you end up telling me 2 weeks from now, sorry, the shoe was not authentic, so we're not going to give you your money back. And Rick Owens destroyed the shoe because they deemed it non-authentic. I'm like, hell no. No. I want my money back. So I start literally arguing with this person about the law, the rights, and I'm the type of person who goes into protection mode. I don't go into attack mode, but I'd rather go into, okay, so let's say he's aggressive to me, he's really fast, like, I can't give you the money back, I will not give you the money back, all I can do is send it off. So okay, I can send it off, here's my number, and he starts talking faster and faster and faster. And what I do, this is a technique that I always use, coming from PR as well, it's a classic thing. I just say, I'm sorry, you're speaking too fast for me. I am not a lawyer. I do not know my rights perfectly well, but I have the feeling you are right now stepping over my rights. So slow down. You're being very aggressive right now. This is no way to treat a customer. And so I kept kind of, like saying, like, I'm not taking your crap. Slow down. We have to have a humane conversation. Just because you want to prove yourself, because you're a youngling and you don't want to, money-wise, blah, 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 and you're going to kind of yell over me? No. And I said, you are talking way too fast and you're being way too aggressive. So tone it down, because now I need to understand my rights in terms of how reclamations work and all that stuff. So I sat down to start researching online what my rights are in this case. So, 1.5 to 2 hours later, he says, okay, fine, you can think as long as you want. I got other stuff to do anyway. And he says, if you need me again, let my sales associates know. They're going to call me. So I'm there, like, checking stuff out, figuring stuff out. The sales associates start talking to me, and they gather more and more around this broken shoe. And it becomes a whole phenomenon. So, and I'm thinking to myself, oh boy, are they going to make fun of me now? But no, guess what happened? The sales associates, one by one, started calling each other like, oh my God, did you see what happened? And they kind of are circling around the shoe. I'm sitting in another corner of the shop on a little chair, and I'm kind of doing my stuff. And as they were gathering, like there were, I think, 4 sales associates at one point around the shoe. Then I step up and I'm like, well, now we're going to do Super D's PR charm. I walk to them and I say, hey guys, that's the shoe that they're like, this is insane. I'm like, you guys, please be honest to me. Have you ever seen a shoe like this where you thought the wearer was guilty? They're like, no, we have never seen something like this happen. This is obviously production flaw in the construction of the shoe. Like, they were all on my side. And I'm like, and then I said, after I tested the situation, like, okay, are they on my side or not? They were on my side. Then I said, but you guys, your store manager doesn't want to give me the money. They're like, really? He's a new one. We had a really nice store manager before him, but he came in November. And since he's here, nobody's happy. I'm like, oh, so you want to get rid of him? Interesting. And they tell me, yeah, nobody's happy. The situation is not cool. You should definitely get your money back. Fight for it, fight for it. It was so cute because they were like, you stand your ground when he comes back. Stand your ground. I'm like, what am I can't do nothing. I mean, what can I do? So we had this debate. The sales associates were so kind, so sweet. We even started talking about the Art Lovers Unite movie. One of the sales associates also has somebody in their family who's also a filmmaker. So we started like exchanging information about film festivals and working, 3D animation. I mean, it was really a lovely conversation. Like, the people were really, really, really kind, understanding, chill, not nervous, like super sweet. And also, by the way, all ages, the spectrum from like early 20s to 50s, from women to men. It was really, really it was a great environment actually, but they were all unhappy because they were all hired by the old store manager, who then kind of ranked up and is doing something else now in the business. And this new creature came in, and then I was told, well, if this reclamation doesn't go through, you don't get your money, but we have to end up sending off the shoe, and we have to wait for Rick Owens to give us a response. Here's something else you can do. And they slide me the email address I should write a complaint to, where I list all the issues that happened to me. And they're like, write it to, because these are above him. I'm like, oh, thank you so much. It shall be done. It shall be done. I ain't no Karen until I'm barren. Your issue, which I'm not supposed to be barren, because that's your issue, not mine. So I give the store manager one more benefit of the doubt. I said, okay, call him. I'm ready. He comes down. By the way, 30 minutes later, he took his good time. Super rude. Like he did it on purpose. Like, you didn't want to solve the issue immediately? No, I'll keep you waiting. Really obnoxiously rude. He comes down and I'm like, again, hey, I've read my rights, technically, blah, 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 blah. He's like, yeah, but you can complain to whoever you want. I'm not going to give you your money back now. I have to send the shoe off. And when Rick Owens accepts the return, then they're going to send me the money and I'll give you the money. And then I said to him, you have an opportunity here. Your staff is amazing. You have wonderful products here. I see. Some of them are wonderful. You can win a client or lose a client for the future. What's your choice? Like, I can't give you the money back. I was like, okay, I gave you this opportunity. It's a no. Fine. Fine. He said, I don't want to give you the money back. He said, I don't want to give you the money back. I'm saying, you don't want to? He's like, no. All right. Thank you very much. I signed all the paperwork for the return of the shoe, that they're going to ship it to Rick. Rick then, but the problem is this, you guys, and the lady working there told me, the problem is a lot of these brands that we ship the shoes back to, they don't care. So they don't write back. Weeks and weeks pass and the brand just does not answer. You send the shoe back to Rick and Rick is like, oh, okay. And they keep postponing and postponing. So technically I was told at the end that I might have to wait 8 to 10 weeks to hear back. And that Rick might decide to send another pair instead of the money. And I'm like, but it's going to break again. Are you kidding me? So this is the situation we're at right now. The email has been sent to upper management. I'm going to keep you posted what happens next. As of now, I don't have the money and I don't have the shoe anymore. But I did send the email. So next step, if I don't get any reply as soon as possible, I will be doing the Twitter thing and saying like, hey, Rick, what gives, girl? Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Trina says, use that email to go over that little manager said. Oh, please, yes, keep us posted, says Polly. I hope you get the money back, says Shelby. Yeah, that's Matt, says, oh, chic. That's that. Y'all, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your comments down below and subscribe.